Hello, hello, team. Happy whenever this is for you. We're going to give ourselves a beautiful, roughly 20 to 25 minutes. Some mobility, some stretching, really focusing on the hips, the low back, and just like being aware of how all of that is feeling for us in this moment, in this time. What do you need for this? I'm propping myself up on a pillow, or if you have a yoga block, great. For that, you don't need to have that. You can be simply on your floor or your mat. Also, either a yoga strap, a small towel, resistance band, something to help you with your hamstring stretches once we get there. Okay, so starting in that beautiful seated position, just take your hands towards your knees. Okay, so whenever this is for you that you are doing this stretch and mobility session, whether it's in the first thing in the morning, you're coming out of bed, whether it's the end of the day, it's been a busy, chaotic day, try to clear all that away. Come here, be present. Take your hands towards your knees. Close your eyes, just focus on the breath for just a moment. Just bring yourself here. I like to draw attention to my breath because then it makes me not think about everything else. That's a super helpful cue. Big inhale, big exhale, and just notice how the hips, the pelvis, the spine in this position feels, whether it's tight, whether it's fine. We are gonna make it feel better no matter what. Okay, let's take an inhale together, draw the shoulders up towards your ears. Big breath in and then exhale, lower them down. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, or you can use the mouth as well. Last time, big breath in. Shrugging those shoulders up, creating that tension. As you exhale, bring that right ear down with you towards that right shoulder. Take that right hand up towards the top of the head. Take the left fingertips down beside you. Just giving yourself a beautiful stretch through the side of the left, side of the neck, into that shoulder. Big breath in and big breath out. Again, you can keep your eyes closed or open, whatever helps you stay in this moment. Take one more breath in. And then slowly release that. Dropping both hands back down towards those knees and then bringing that chin down towards the chest. Take a big breath in, look up. Just working from the spine, nothing's shifting through, just shifting through the neck. Nothing is shifting through the spine, just looking down towards the floor and then looking up towards the ceiling. Good, do that one more time. If it's moving with your breath, that's helpful for you. Take it there. Good. Last time. Looking up. And then come back into neutral. Take a breath in. Create the tension through the shoulders. Shrug them all the way up. And this time, exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Taking that left hand up to the top of the head. Right fingertips down, come down beside you. Nice, beautiful stretch through that right side. If you are experiencing tension or tightness, sometimes we cringe through our face. Really try to relax. Just focus on the breath, breathing space and energy to those places. Take one more breath in here. Nice job. Release both hands back down towards those knees. Okay, you're gonna continue with that neck movement. Now we're gonna add the rest of the spine. So as you look up, pull the shoulder blades back, puff that chest out, arch through the spine, tilting that tailbone back, and then exhale, chin to chest, around the shoulders forward, tuck the tailbone under. So you're anchoring those hands towards those knees, big breath in, looking up. Oh, so good. Exhale to round. So if you close your eyes here, imagine what is happening through your spine, through your pelvis, what that would look like. Big breath in here, last one. And then exhale, rounding, taking your time. Oh, so good, so good. Okay, coming back. You could stay in that position for a while. Coming back to your neutral spine. So leaving your hands where they are, anchor them to the knees. And then just draw nice big circles around here. So again, take that imagery of what the spine and the pelvis is doing. It's like a lateral cat and cow movement, rounding. So you're doing extension and flexion through that spine. Change the direction, go the opposite way. And just notice how that feels for the low back, for the hips, for the pelvis. Good. Coming back into your center. Take your left hand towards your knee, your right knee. Take your right hand in behind you, just coming into a nice gentle twist. Don't force this here. Just take your gaze to whatever feels good. You don't have to look back in behind. Just coming gently over into that twist. Big inhale and exhale. And then change to the opposite way. Left hand comes behind you, right hand comes to the left knee. A little twist there. Good. Take another big inhale. And exhale. All right, coming back into center. You're gonna come into a nice little forward fold here. So walk those fingertips as far forward as you can, and then round and tuck that spine under. So you're having a nice rounded spine here. You could take your gaze down to the floor. Take a big inhale, feel the expansion through the back body. And then come up slowly. So good. We're gonna do that whole series from the twist onto the other side. So you're just gonna switch your legs around. So you're going to the awkward seated position. Most people have a way that they'll automatically go to. Okay, so that's what we were just in. Now you're in opposite. Take your left hand towards your right knee one more time. Take your right hand in behind you. Just a breath here on that twist. Out. Good. Coming back through center, switch it to the other side. Left hand comes behind, right hand comes to the left knee, twisting over to your left. Again, don't do a big force here. Just feel where it feels most natural and good for you. And then making your way back into center, one more forward fold. Walk those fingertips forward again. Round through that spine, puff through that back. Take a big inhale. Just envision that expansion through the back. So good. Okay. Oh, feels awesome. Make your way back up. If you were sitting on a prop, a pillow, like myself, you can remove that just off to the side for now. Extend both legs out. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit more into those hips, which is gonna feel really nice. Okay, so extending both legs out just for a moment. Just sit nice and tall here. Flex through those legs here, engaging through the legs, okay? Give a nice flex here. Now, slide in the right leg. Just give it a nice big squeeze. You can either interlace the hands around the shin, lift the foot slightly off of the floor, but sit nice and tall. Or if it feels okay, you can give a nice little hug, a nice little lift to come off of that foot. Okay. From here, we are going to take that right foot and cross it above the left knee. This is called seated figure four. It is the shape of a four. Okay. So hanging out here, you're gonna take your left hand to your foot and your right hand to the top of the knee. So you're not gonna actually hold your knee, you're gonna press down is what we're gonna work on. Sitting nice and tall, we're gonna press down so we're getting that external rotation into the hip. So oftentimes the knee is a little bit higher. If you have good hip mobility, maybe you're good here, but we're gonna add tension to this, okay? So we're gonna actively push the knee into the hand as we push the hand down onto the knee. We're gonna do a couple of rounds, a few rounds here. So we're gonna push and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the tension, just sit nice and tall here. Take a big breath in. Push down as the knee pushes into the hand. It's work. 5, 4, 3. It should feel nice for that hip. 2, 1, release. Do it one more time. Push down as the knee pushes up. There's tension there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good. Okay, leave your leg as exactly as it is. Take the hands in behind you. Slide your left heel in. Okay, you might need to lift up those hips and move them slightly forward to really feel that stretch through the hip on that right side. From here, you're just gonna do a nice gentle rock from right to left. Okay, as you're doing this, make sure that right foot is in flexion. Okay, so the toes are pulling up towards the shin and that knee is trying to externally rotate away from that body. That should feel nice. That should feel nice. Okay, it does in a good way. We're gonna come back into center, extend that left leg back out, leave that leg where it is, okay? One more thing in this position. Take your hands either towards the left shin. You can use your strap here around the left foot, or simply hand to knee and foot and fold forward. Try not to round your spine. Think of sitting nice and tall and hinging. So you wanna think of chest and chin coming forward. It doesn't have to be massive to feel that stretch through that right hip. And we breathe, relax the face. Relax the jaw. So good for those hips. Take one more breath in. and release that out. Okay, slowly and mindfully releasing that right leg. Okay, we're gonna take both heels nice and wide, flex through those toes, and just gently windshield wiper it over those knees from side to side. Okay, so my hips this week have been super tight. I did do a walk this morning and noticed that I was like, oh, some hip stuff would be good. So here we are. Okay. Coming back through center, you should feel quite the difference in between the right hip and the left hip, whether your hips were tight or not. Okay, both legs are back out in extension. Flex those toes out nice and hard, nice and close to those shins. I don't know the word I'm looking for here. Sitting nice and tall, flexing through those legs, and then take that left leg in. Again, you can wrap the hands to the shins, sitting nice and tall, lifting off of that foot, or simply giving yourself that nice little hug around that left side, sitting tall here. Just prepping in through that hip as we take that left foot now over top and above that right side. You might notice a big difference from left to right. I always do. Nothing wrong with that. It's just more work for us. Okay, so the hand to the left foot, the left hand to the right, the left hand to the left knee. Okay, we're gonna come into that active push and active press. So the knee is driving up as the hand pushes down. Everybody take a breath in and push down, push up with the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Breath in. Push down, push up with the knee, add that pressure and tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Breath in, last one, pushing down, getting that external rotation, foot is flexed, holding for 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, okay. Oh, that feels really good. Take both hands in behind you, slide in that right heel, leaving the left leg where it is. Maybe lifting up those hips a little bit to move them forward. Coming into that rock from right to left. Flexing through that foot, keeping that knee nice and away from the body as much as you can on that left side. So good. Okay, we got that forward fold for this side. Extend back through the right leg, either using that prop around the right foot, hands towards shin, ankle, or leaving the hands towards the foot and the knee. I feel most supported here. This is the one I always take. Take a breath in and then hinge from your hips. Remember, you're not rounding. Think of a long, proud spine here. Big inhale and big exhale. That left knee is coming down towards the floor, externally rotating as much as you can. One more breath in. And exhale. Release. So good. Okay. Slowly, mindfully undo that left leg. Take the hands in behind you. Slide both knees in nice and wide. And again, rock those legs. So good. Already feel better through those hips from right to left. Okay. From here, we're going to make our way into tabletop. Okay, so onto those hands and those knees. Good opportunity to grab a quick sip of water if you need it. Okay, so coming into your tabletop here, spreading those fingers nice and wide, shoulders stacked over the wrist. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better for you. Make sure those hips are right over top of those knees. Okay, let's just do a couple of cat and cows here, just noticing again the difference between seated and into your tabletop, where you feel more supported. Maybe it's more, there's more mobility and range here in your tabletop. Just do a couple more here. Close your eyes again if that feels good. And noticing the shift of the pelvis now after opening up those hips. Do one more full series for yourself. Really exaggerate it. Lift your gaze, lift your tail, letting that belly fall. And then tucking that tail, pulling the belly up and in, shoulders puff, chin to chest. So good. Okay, we're gonna extend through the right leg. Right leg comes out to the side, sole of the foot is down here. All right, from here, you're gonna take it into a nice rock forward. Shoulders come over the wrists, and then exhale, taking those hips back. So my right foot is staying flat here. I'm coming forward. Shoulders over the wrists just slightly, left hip back towards left heel. Do that one more time. Big breath in forward. Big breath out, taking it back. Leave it there. Left hip towards heel. Walk the hands over to your right side. Oh, getting a nice, beautiful lateral stretch through the left side here, and then in towards the inside of that right leg. Take a big inhale and exhale. All right, make your way back up to table. We're gonna slide in that right leg. We're gonna draw some nice big hip circles for that right side. Okay, so you're still in tabletop, lifting that right knee in towards the chest, open it out towards the side, flex your foot. I want you to think of pausing in all of these ranges. Rotate from that hip, heel comes up, and then slowly bring it down and through. So nothing else through my spine is shifting here. I'm trying to control this as slowly and as big, the biggest range that I can make through that hip. Give yourself one more here, big circle around, pressing through that heel, down and through. Okay, take the knees nice and wide in your space. Take your toes to touch in the center, and then press your hips back towards your heel. A nice wide child's pose here to reset before we move on to the other side. Walk the fingertips forward, let those armpits come down towards the mat as much as you can. Press those hips back as much as you can. Take one more breath in, and then out. So good, okay. Walking those hands back in. We switch it out to the other side, please. Okay, so we're coming back into our tabletop position. This time we extend through that left leg. And we want to try to maintain that left flat foot as much as we can. We come forward, shoulders over wrists, and then exhale. Right hip back towards right heel. Oh, okay. If you're feeling anything that's like, oh, it feels really good to stay there, then stay there. Take your time. There's absolutely no right or wrong when it comes to moving your body in the way that feels good. So if it feels good for me and not so much for you, that's normal, okay? Just depends on what you've done through your week, what you haven't done through your week. But, okay, right hip towards right heel, walk those hands over to the left side. Maybe the right fingers can come a little bit further around, press into that right side. Take a big inhale here. And then release, walking back in through center, coming back into your tabletop, sliding that left knee in this time, and we begin those rotations. Left knee comes in, flex through the foot, open the knee out to the side, make it big, only from the hip and the glute, please. Try not to get the spine all shifty. We want to maintain nice control here, keeping the gaze down, maybe at your thumbs, as you work that big rotation around. Slower is better. Okay, so take your time as you open it up and rotate around, getting that control through the hip and glute. Let's go one more rotation right here. Big circle around. Oh, so good, so good. Okay, take those knees wide once again here, toes to touch, and press those hips right back. Walk those hands far forward again. Let those shoulders and armpits drop towards your mat. You can rest on your chin, you can rest on your forehead. Whatever feels good for you. Take one more big inhale here. Really reach those fingers and press back those hips. So good. Okay. Ooh, you're gonna make your way all the way down into your belly, please. Next, I'm just gonna transition myself around. Come all the way down, all the way down. Okay. Once you have gotten down onto your mat, take your hands, make a little pillow for your forehead so you can rest down. Take your feet about hip distance or shoulder distance apart and just rock your hips from side to side. So if your low back is tight or your hips are tight, we want to release that. So you're just giving a little rock from side to side here, and then take a pause in stillness. Notice if you're hanging on to any tension through that low back or into the glutes or into those hips. Try to breathe, big inhale, push your belly into your mat, and then release. All right. Leave your left arm forward. Your left forearm is up in front. Bend through that right leg, reach back with that right arm, grabbing the top of that right foot. Again, resting the forehead down towards the forearm. And I want you now to think of squeezing your bum, pressing your hips into the floor. You should get a nice quad. Ooh, don't cringe if it is tight. My quads are very tight. I'm gonna relax my face and focus on my breath. Take one more inhale here. And out. Slowly release that side down. Oh, that feels good. Switch it out. Right arm comes forward. Left leg bends in. Left hand reaches back. Again, squeeze, tuck that tailbone under, activate those glutes. That'll really get into that quad stretch a lot. Think of big belly breaths here, filling that belly with air, pressing it into the floor. Nice job. Give yourself one more. Squeeze, 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 and then slowly release the left foot down. Okay, before we make our way to our back, we're gonna come up into Sphinx Pose, which is coming up onto those forearms. Now, for some of us, if we do have a tight back, this might not be so comfortable, okay? If not, you can also start with 2 fists and just work here. Now, maybe this doesn't feel like a whole lot for you, but notice if you're clenching your bum, that's protecting the low back. So you wanna be able to relax those glutes. So once you're in your Sphinx Pose, up on those forearms or in your fists, focus on breathing here, opening up that front body, but relaxing the back body. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Might not feel like there's a whole lot going on, but we are constantly, if you're sitting a lot through your day, that is inflection through the hips, okay? So you're in that bent position. This here is a fantastic, just hold pose, even for 60 seconds, just to open up through the hips, open up through the core. So good. Okay, let's slowly release that wherever you were. Oh, so good. Press yourself up and back to one more child's pose. You can keep your knees narrow this time or take them wide, whatever feels good, but I want you to think of rounding through that spine, so that opposite counter stretch to Sphinx. So good. Okay. From here, we will transition onto our backs. Oh, it all feels so good. Transition onto your back. Make sure you have a prop, either the yoga strap, resistance band, or towel handy, please. Okay, we're gonna get into the hamstrings here a little bit. We'll start with hugging the knees in towards the chest though, so just giving yourself that nice little hug, maybe that little rock from side to side, just releasing through that low back. Okay. From here, lower your left foot down, grab your prop, hook it around the sole of your right foot, around the sole of that right foot, and then press that leg up towards sky ceiling. If it feels okay, you can extend through that left leg, or if it feels better, you can keep that left leg bent. We will all be extending it very soon. We're going to come into a stretch where we need that space. Okay, flex through your toes a little bit more. Think of pressing into your heel a little bit more and then actively pulling on your prop. Now, micro bend through that knee for sure. We don't want that leg locked out. Please have a soft little bend there. Take one more breath in and out. Oh, that feels good. Okay, take all of your prop into your right hand. Take your left hand to your left hip bone and then open that right leg just out towards the right side. Doesn't have to be massive. Please focus on flexing in through those toes still. You can relax your face, making sure the hip bones are neutral. If you've noticed that your left hip has lifted away from the floor and you're rolling over, pull yourself back. Doesn't have to be a massive movement here to feel that stretch. Take one more breath in and then switch. Cross it over to your left hand. Take your right arm to a nice big T and let that right leg come over to the left side of the space, okay? We want that shoulder to maintain, that right shoulder to maintain contact with the floor, with your mat. Flex through those right toes. Again, it doesn't have to be this massive rollover, or maybe it is for you. Maybe that feels good. I literally can go over like to a 45 and I'm like, okay, that's good for that hip and glute. Take one more breath in, flex those toes. So good. Okay, let's come back in through center on your next breath in. Switch it out. The left foot's gonna come into that strap or towel. That right foot is gonna come out. Oh, it already feels so good. Okay, flex through those left toes as much as you can, using your towel, strap band, whatever you have. Flex through the toes so that they're coming down towards the shin and face. Pressing that left heel, micro bending through that knee. Take a big inhale here and exhale. Notice if you're hanging on to any tension through the face, through the shoulders, the neck, the hips, the low back. Can you breathe space into any of those places a little bit more? Take one more breath in here. Taking your prop into your left hand, take your right hand to your right hip bone. You can keep your leg bent for this first one or extend it out, it does not matter. And then open out that left foot towards the left side of space. Remember, we don't want to roll over. We want those hips to remain neutral. We want that foot to stay flexed as best as you can. Take one more breath in here and out. So good, okay. Let's switch it into the other side. That foot comes out. If your leg was bent on the right side, extend it out. Prop comes into that right hand, left hand comes out to that big T, and guide that left foot over to the right side of space. Enjoying that beautiful twist here. Feeling the stretch, maybe through the low back, the hip, the glute, the IT, the calf. You could feel this one in many places depending on how tight that leg is. Let's take one more deep breath in here and release. Bringing that back in through center, bending through your right leg, planting your right foot, undo that prop, that strap. We're gonna finish with a little happy baby here, okay? Maybe it's hands to knees and hugging the knees in wide. If it feels okay to grab the soles of the foot, pulling the knees down nice and wide to the ribs, opening up through the hips and hamstrings. Maybe it's a rock from side to side, maybe it's just that static hold, pressing those heels up as we drive the knees down. Take one more breath in here. So good. Okay, bring those knees towards one another. Take the hands in behind those legs. If you're like, I want to lay on my mat for like the next 5 minutes of stillness, if you feel like you need that, go there. You can also come on up, roll yourself along that spine. We are going to finish with a forward fold, but if you are chill and you want to lay on your back in that Shavasana pose, take yourself there. Extend those legs back out, flex through those toes, take a nice big breath in here, reach the arms up, sit super tall, exhale, fold over the legs, giving yourself that final forward fold. Grabbing here, shins, ankles, soles of feet, toes, you can use your prop, wrap it around those feet, round through the spine, lengthen through the spine, bend through the knees, whatever it is that supports you in this stretch the best. Try bending your knees a little bit and then really folding and following over those legs. That always feels good. Take one more inhale and exhale it all out. So good. I hope that helped you bring some release, some relief if there was tension, tightness through those hips, through the low back. Always nice to slow down as well, giving our bodies exactly what it needs and exactly what it craves. Or maybe just to slow down. It's always nice. Amazing job. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for giving this a try. That was about 26 minutes of stretch and mobility for you. Enjoy. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Bye, everyone.